was the basic pentatonic scale, the pentatonic minor to be specific, and if you've been playing lead guitar for a minute, you've probably started to get familiar with that scale. And if you've been playing lead guitar for a while, you might have even started to get sick of that scale and, no pun intended, started to feel a little boxed in. There's a reason people learn that scale first, though. It's very easy to remember. It fits into that nice, neat box, like I said, as a visual pattern. And you don't have to shift your hands up and down or your fret hand up and down to play the scale. You just play in this one anchor point and just go up and down. 2 notes per string. It's a lot simpler to remember than full diatonic scales, and every note fits into the background music that you're playing along with. So what do you do when you want to break out of that box and start playing something more interesting or moving around, but you're not ready to learn all those crazy, takes a million fingers diatonic scales that I was speaking about? Well, today we're going to take the first step in learning 4 other boxes that you can play that are just as easy to get under your fingers and memorize as that pentatonic box. Pretty soon, you'll be the self-storage unit of guitar playing. So what I'm going to give you today is the first of the 4 of these new boxes that you're going to learn to play in. And these are not to be confused with what would be called the modes of the pentatonic minor scale, because we're not using strictly the same 5 notes that are in the pentatonic minor scale. We're moving into a different part of the neck, and the entire scale is designed to be easy to remember, fit without shifting positions, and to play easily in 2 notes per string. Doing this is going to create some pretty unique and cool tones and sounds over the background music that you would normally be playing on, and it might take a little getting used to because all the notes don't always fit as easily as they do in the pentatonic scale, and that's why we're doing one a week. And it's also why I have the goofy title of the video where I called it Markatonic scales, because maybe I'm just hoping that something will be named after me and be here long after I'm gone. So to play this first new box, you take your basic pentatonic minor, and here we're working in A minor, but this is going to work in any scale, and you go back a whole step. So with A minor, you're on the 5th fret, you're going to go back to the 3rd, one whole step before it, and that becomes the first note of the new box that you're looking at. And you take that first note, and your second note on the string is just a whole step above it. And then you do that whole step thing 2 more times. The first note, a whole step, the first note, a whole step, all in that pretty neat box there. Then you have the one deviation where what you might want to call in the middle of the box, where it's here, and then a half step, and then you're back to the same whole step pattern again. Fits very nicely under your fingers. Now, before I get too deeply into what it's going to sound like and how you use it, let's do a quick example piece of music so you can hear something in context. So you see here, it doesn't fit like the pentatonic scale as easily where you can just rest on any note. I had to kind of go to certain notes to make it work better, but it also had kind of a little bit of an exotic sound maybe you would think compared to the pentatonic minor. And that's the whole point, that you don't want to just sound the same everywhere you play. You're trying to force yourself out of your comfort zone sonically, but make it easy on your fingers and your hands. You also note that I didn't use all the strings, as you wouldn't do when you're playing leads most of the time. I'm mostly centered on the top 3. And so you want to come back to the root note when you're resolving usually. That's why that note is in green on the chart. You have the A there, and the E works very well as well, the 5th. So a lot of staying around here. So what you want to do from here is just play around with it, get some background music, and I'll include the backing track, that quick little 8 measures there, so you can play over it if you want, or just find anything else, and work on playing that box for a week before you move on to the second one. And quickly I want to mention too, or I said it before, but I want to point it out to you, again, this works in any key. So if you're playing an E pentatonic minor, you're going to take that same new box and just start it a whole step behind. It's all visual pattern recognition, and that's part of what makes this so easy to do. So work on that new box, and then we're going to come back next week and talk about the second one of 4. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And until next time, guys, keep making great music. Hey friends, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. It makes the whole world better.